Hey guys, welcome back. So what we're looking at today is getting to the root of the problem, 3.8. All right, so for this first part, we want to order the numbers from least to greatest. So looking at number 1, we have 100 to the third power. We have the square root of 100. We have log base 2 of 100. We have 100, and we have 2 to the 10th power. Now, 2 to the 10th power is probably the hardest one for you to imagine. If we take 2 times 2 times 2 all the way up to 2 to the 10th, we're going to get 1024. Now, 100 to the third power is 1 million. So 1 million is definitely the largest on here, the largest on here. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So this will be fifth. This will be fourth. 100 will be third. The square root of 100 will be second. And log base 2 of 100 will be first, because it's going to be the smallest because it's only 10. All right, so the last one down here with all the logs, because it's probably the hardest to take and think about. Logs typically are going to be our smallest value, but keep in mind any negatives will be smaller than positives, so keep that in mind. But we have log base 3 of 3 to the third. So remember, when the base number and the big number are the same, it's the exponent. So this one is just 3. This one is negative 2. This one's 0. This one's negative 1. And this one's 3. So putting those in order from smallest to biggest, this one would be first. This would be second. This would be third. And then the last two are the same. So these would be, we'll make them both just fourth because they're equal. So in that case, they are equal. That will happen only on this one. So you don't have to worry about that showing up anywhere else. But we're just ordering them from least to greatest. All right, to refer to the given graph to answer the questions, insert greater than, less than, or equal to in each statement to make it true. So f of 0 is what to g of 0? So we look, f of x is the blue one, g of x is the green one. Which one is greater at 0? Well, g of x is at 0. F of x is at 2. So f of x is greater than g of x because that one's 2, that one's 0. When they're both at 2, so we come over here to 2. So g of x looks like it's at 4. F of x keeps going off the page, so it would end up crossing somewhere up higher, so it's larger. For negative 1, well, f of x is at 0 for negative 1. G of x is up at 1. So g of x is going to be greater here. So you're just looking at the various x values, which is going to be larger, which is going to be smaller, okay? So comparing those. All right, so the root of our assignment here is using the given roots to find the remaining roots and then write the function in factored form. So what we're looking at here, we're given that one of the roots is x equals 5. So that means part of our factored form is going to have x minus 5. Now, we can take and divide, so using polynomial division, we can now divide out this factor from the function to find out what the other, what the equation is without it. So if we set this up, I'm going to do it up above so we have lots of space. We're going to have x minus 5. We've got the x cubed minus 13x squared plus 52x minus 60. X times what gives us x to the third? Well, that would be x squared. Oops, wrong place. X squared. So that gives us x to the third. X squared times negative 5 is negative 5x squared. Remember, we subtract these, those cancel. Negative 13 minus negative 5, so really negative 13 plus 5 is going to give us a negative 8. So we have negative 8x squared, and then that's plus 52 x minus 60. So now, what do we have to multiply x by to get to negative x squared? Well, a negative 8x. So this becomes negative 8x squared. Negative 5 times negative 8 is a positive 40. So this is positive 40x. We're subtracting these. These cancel. 52 minus 40 is going to give us 12. So we have 12x minus 60. What do we have to multiply x by to get to 12x? Well, we multiply it by a positive 12. X squared minus 8x plus 12. So that'll give us the 12x. Negative 5 times 12 is negative 60. It'll all cancel. We're left with 0. So now we know this here. We have the x squared minus 8x plus 12. We can factor this by looking at what two numbers multiply to give us 12, but will add to give us negative 8. Well, that'd be a negative 2 and a negative 6. So this is our factored form for the cubic function f of x equals x cubed minus 13x squared plus 52x minus 60. So that's what you're doing for these. So you're given one part of your factored form for all of this, which is nice and helpful. Definitely helpful. So all you're taking and doing then is you're just going to divide to take and simplify this down. So you're going to divide your function by the factor that you have, by the root that you have to get this part, to get what's left over, and then you can factor that. Factored is your key word for this lesson, factored. Right, down here on this one, be careful when you're dividing by the root 2. Be very cautious with that since you are dealing with a fourth root. All right, here we are multiplying using the distributive property. So if we take x times x, we're going to get x squared. If we take x times root 13, we get root x root 13. Negative x root 13 times, or negative root 13 times x will give us a negative x root 13. And negative root 13 times positive root 13 is negative 13. Remember, when we multiply two roots with the same number underneath, the root sign cancels out and you're left with just the 13, or just whatever the number is underneath. So then these two terms cancel out because one's positive, one's negative. So our answer is x squared minus 13. Note, this right here is going to help you right here because that means we can divide an x squared minus 2 out of that. So divide by x squared minus 2 to find your other factors, okay? And then factored form x minus root 2, x plus root 2. Those are two of them. Remember, you will end up with a 4 because this is a fourth degree exponent. All right, when we have an I in there, it makes it slightly more complicated, obviously, because we've got three things inside. So we're taking x times x, which will get us x squared. Then we want to take x times 5, so plus 5x. Then we take x times negative 3i, so minus 3ix. Then we take 5 times x, so plus 5x. Then we take 5 times 5, plus 25. Then we take 5 times negative 3i, minus 15i. Then we take 3i times everything, so we have plus 3ix. Then we have plus 15i. And then 3i times negative 3i is going to be minus 9i squared. Remember, I squared is the same thing as negative 1, so that just becomes a plus 9. All right, now we combine like terms. So we've got a negative 3xi and a positive 3xi. Those cancel. We've got a negative 15i and a positive 15i. Those cancel. We have a 5x and a 5x. Those don't cancel. So we only have one x squared. So x squared plus 5x plus 5x is 10x. And then 25 plus 9 is going to give us plus 34. So there is our solution. So your i's will cancel out on 17, 19, and 20 when you take and do this, okay? All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a great day. Bye, guys.